Hari Om and welcome to all the Divine Atma Jyotis to today's AVSC Satsang. Let us continue our contemplation based on the day 5 talk on Aparoksha Anubbhti Sri Prabhu ji. So the day 5 talk primarily focuses on the parallels between the Ashtanga Yoga and the Vedanta Jnana. And in our last session, we looked at the very first question, what is Ashtanga Yoga? So today, we can take up the second and also, depending upon the time, go into the third question. So what is Vedanta Jnana? Let us begin with that. And as you explain that, you can also look at explaining the difference between that and the Ashtanga Yoga as you see it. Ashwini ji, can you begin?
Okay. I couldn't go through the video, so yeah, whatever I know, I'll just speak on that. So Vedanta Jnana is that's what the Atma Darshana which we are going through. The by Shankaracharya, what that's what the different philosophies, the Advaita philosophy, and other by other gurus, and to so that focuses on who am I inquiry. So through various texts, we through Jnana path we are realizing the self. So something which we just now we had the discussion. So this is but the difference between this and this is Vedanta is purely for the left brain, for the for removing the ignorance, the andakupa which is there. This whereas the yoga path is through practices, breath practices, other different practices. You are the right. This is for the that is for the shakti, for the purification. So sorry, Vijay, I think I should have gone through the video. I'm not able to put myself clearly.
No issues.
I'll go through and speak.
But this is your current view.
Yeah.
So in your, I want to ask a couple of more questions. So in your viewpoint, is one more complete than the other, or
no,
none of them are complete and they are to be used as complementaries? What is your viewpoint on that question?
See, actually, see, previously in Gurukulas and all, the students used to go through a lot of practices before they come to the Jnana path. So there was a lot of Chitta Shuddhi which happened before that. Or even if they come to the Gurukula, like 12 years ago, Guru say, okay, do Seva, do Karma Yoga, do Upasana. So all that practices they used to do, and the Chitta Shuddhi used to happen before they used to get Jnana. But now what is happening is we are directly getting Jnana. So if we go directly to, it's available to us. And we go to Jnana, we say, okay, I am Brahman. But somewhere deep inside, you are not, you say, okay, I'm Brahman, but deep inside that feeling is not there. So the Chitta Shuddhi has to happen. So all this Karma Yoga, all this is required. So both are, see, also like you said, it depends on where the seeker is. If the seeker is a advanced seeker who has gone through all the purification process, then only Jnana is sufficient. Just one question, who am I, is sufficient for that person. But if the vasanas are there, then the purification is required. The clearing up is required. So in that case, they have to go through different upasanas or different practices, so that it it is clear.
So the question is, let me sharpen the question. Would you say then only one is not enough? Is that what you're saying?
Depends on the seeker, no, Vijayji. On where the seeker is. If they may require it or they may not, depending on how much has happened already, which we don't know. If they're quite advanced seeker, then it's not required at all. Only jnana is required. But see here also, Guruji also the other day he was mentioning when we were doing these Shakti Darshana practices, is that all the subconscious impressions come out. So when it comes out, the jnana is also required at the same time, so that it just gets it comes up, the impression comes up and it's immediately dissolved. You say, okay, I'm not the body, I'm not this the mind, and use the neti and it just goes away. The impressions keep popping up and then it just gets dissolved. So both are required in my opinion. So that only Shakti Darshana, only the practices also is not that effective. But only Jnana also, you'll say, who am I? But you don't know, but somewhere deep inside, there is a lack. There is somehow that conviction is not there that I am Brahman. So both are required. But then again, this is based on the seeker. For an advanced seeker, then for them, just, the Jnana is sufficient. So.
Thank you very much, Ashwini ji.
Thank you.
Satyaji, would you like to share your viewpoint? Are you there, Satyaji?
Yeah, Vijay. Yeah, when when we are looking at Ashtanga Yoga and Vedanta Jnana, basically I'm seeing it as the difference between yoga and Jnana. In yoga, there is something to be done, like it is a practice. So even any yoga practices, these are to calm the mind and it's like making the pitch ready for Jnana. So generally, any practices that we do, even when children were in Gurukula previously, there are a lot of they would do everything in the Guru's place. All this is to help for some Chitta Suddhi, like something done. It is not me alone. It is something done for everyone, or calming your senses and getting your breath into control, which will result in getting mind into control. So all these are practices which are required for a very a normal seeker. But yoga, jnana is something. It is a self-inquiry. It is not directed outwards. It is directed inward. So an inward journey may take a different time for different people, depending on their samskaras, vasanas, and where they are in their spiritual journey. As she just now pointed out. So jnana is a direct path. It is it is not even an understanding, it is a realization. So when you totally realize that what I am or who am I is a total realization, this path of yoga is not anymore necessary. You can still do yoga as a practice, but it is not necessary. So even both the paths will lead to the same result. It totally depends on, but jnana is the ultimate thing, because maybe yoga gives more knowledge, but the jnana is wisdom. So that is what I feel.
Can I ask one question there? So you said, both yoga and jnana lead to the same result. Typically, the end point of yoga is called as the samadhi. And that's where many think that, okay, so I have to make a blank mind. I have to have a blank mind. That is the ultimate nature of samadhi. So now, in that sense, that is the end outcome of the yoga. The end outcome of the jnana is you are that. Realize that. That's all that is there. So when you look at these two endpoints, they're not the same. What are you saying as they're same?
So in case of yoga, it is suppose we say samadhi. The state of being in a samadhi is a state of no mind, or we can say mindfulness also, where you exactly are aware of everything. So it is not a state where you do nothing anymore. So samadhi is a state that in yoga we try to achieve a state while doing everything. We are totally in a samadhi, like a jiva samadhi. We are walking and talking and doing everything, but in a state of samadhi. So that sense of no mind is what is required for jnana. But jnana is a direct path. In jnana, what we achieve is you are directly, because of self-realization, not without any external doing, or maybe even after doing yoga, sometimes after samadhi also, there is a realization that inherently all this is nothing. Neti neti and iti iti. So that realization can happen even after yoga. So these are not two mutually exclusive paths. So one may lead to the other. That is what I
Hmm. Yeah. However, my question is slightly different. Like I said, I am seeking your clarification here on the viewpoint. So the
even when
viewpoint
you start with yoga, the end point still may be the same. Samadhi, okay, you achieve a state of samadhi, that is it. That is the end point of yoga, is fine. When you are seeking is no more than a samadhi, a mindless or a mindful state, that is fine. But as a seeker of wisdom, I feel that even that can lead to jnana.
But in the way it is stated, Ashtanga Yoga, the last step is said as samadhi, right? So in that samadhi generally interpreted as, oh, a blank mind, no thoughts, no mind, completely like still, is what the general interpretation is. So therefore, I'm prompting this question again. That is the end point promised by Ashtanga Yoga, okay? No mind, zero thoughts, blank slate. Vedanta says, end point is simply realize who you are. Aparoksha Anubbhti is the end point.
Yes.
And it has never been an end point. It is simply realization that you've always been that. So there is no beginning and there is no end. So realize that. So in a way, the place, see, if I go in this bus, the place I reach, the Ashtanga Yoga bus takes me to Chennai. The Vedanta Jnana takes me nowhere. Okay. So that's the distinction I am asking you to compare and contrast. On what basis then are you saying that they are one and the same?
So when we are in yoga path, though the ultimate result that is promised is samadhi, for a seeker, so from a point of view of the purpose of life, the purpose is not samadhi. The purpose is realizing that all this is me and I am everything. So in that sense, even when you take the bus of yoga, you reach a stage where your mind is totally no more. And that itself is the starting point for wisdom to be born, for wisdom to be born. So if samadhi itself is the ultimate result of something, yes, Ashtanga Yoga only leads to samadhi. But that samadhi is a best place to reach wisdom also. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so in that sense, your opinion is that Ashtanga Yoga takes you to a point before, you know, the promised destination of Vedanta Jnana is nowhere. So to go nowhere, you have to go to that Ashtanga Yoga's destination, and from there you have to go
It
nowhere.
is not necessary. It is not necessary. Even if you are into samadhi, that is the nearest point. See, even in self-realization, we feel that in the deep sleep state where there is no mind, it is very near to jnana. So the jnana path, what you are in the deep sleep state, you want to have it in the waking state. Ultimately, you become that in the waking state. So that is what is even in samadhi. You are in that state even in your waking state.
Okay. So it is the closest, but still it is not that. So therefore, there is
It is
still some little
because
jump
it
needed.
is a practice that we are doing. Basically, yoga itself is a external practice. Your breath is also external. In fact, breath, mind, all these are not you. So achieving control over the mind is a closest form of being that.
Excellent. Thank you, Satyaji. Padmaji, would you like to share your viewpoint?
Yes, sir. So, Vedanta Jnana is the inquiry of who am I, or rather, it is Tattvamasi. That's all. It is the Anta of all Jnana, or rather, I will say it is the only Jnana that we truly need to function as it is. It is self-evident. It is also direct. So, if we say we are in the, it is similar. If I have to give an example, then the fish searching for the ocean, I think that is what we are. Like some of us mentioned that although we know Tattvamasi, but we are not able to, accept that so easily. Then it is the case of the fish searching for the ocean while it is being in the ocean. And whereas Ashtanga Yoga, I feel it is indirect. It is step by step. If I have to take the same fish example, then it is not worried about, or it is not even interested in whether it's in the ocean or not. It is busy looking at the other fishes and saying that, okay, I feel this fish is living better than me, or this fish is more fitter than me. So what do I do to become that fish? And then this Ashtanga Yoga comes like a practice. And there are various steps to it, like we are seeing here. And but it can lead, it has the potential to lead to the ultimate, but it is not necessary. It depends on the seeker. If somebody is just looking at physical fitness, or that is their goal, then they might just stop at that physical level, external level of just doing that practice itself. They may not go forward in that journey. However, in Vedanta Jnana, it is we already, like, the first step itself is like the first thing we learn in Jnana is you are that. Then it is only a journey of how you are able to accept it, or what do you do for that, or that kind of search begins. It is not same as what somebody would seek through Ashtanga Yoga. Maybe at least not all of them seek through Ashtanga Yoga. But when someone comes as a seeker to Vedanta Jnana, I think at least the seeking is the same. The seeking point is the same. Then it depends, of course, upon the seeker at the level they are to understand it, or to accept it completely, or to realize it. It is up to the seeker. But the end goal of all those who come here is the same. Whereas Ashtanga Yoga, it might not be similar. It is also indirect. It has the potential, however, it may not necessarily lead to jnana. Yeah, that is how I make sense.
Padmaji,
Hmm.
you are ruffling the feathers of a big industry.
Sir, because I have practiced that, so I think that is why for me the difference is very clear. Yeah.
Idam mama mataha. Huh? Very nice. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Padmaji. Hari
Yeah.
Om. Shailajaji, what is your opinion? Are you there, Shailajaji?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a limited knowledge on this, but I would like to share that itself. Because this is a combination of yoga and Vedanta. As per my understanding, Vedanta, it is it is a it respects all the spiritual traditions, like we as I mentioned in the last class, we to reach that level we go through a different means. Same way, like we have to we initially we start with so many other things, and then we came till now we are at this point. So we have gone through, so we start with the recitation of shlokas, and then step by step we come across, and then finally we have reached to this stage. Even we started with the Bhagavad Gita classes. Everywhere we came across this Vedanta, I feel. And yoga, they relate this yoga with Vedanta, maybe through meditation, pranayamas, all this they're relating to the Vedanta, I think so, sir.
In your opinion, are these two taking you to the same destination or different destination?
It is taking to the same destination, but that itself is not enough, I feel.
Which one is not enough?
Further investigation is required. That is what we are doing.
No, which one is not enough? So, okay, there are two buses. There is a yoga bus and there's a Jnana bus. Okay, the yoga bus, for the sake of imagination, okay, so yoga bus is a red color bus. Jnana bus is a blue color bus.
Okay.
Like in that famous movie, Matrix, he says, no, you want to take the red pill or the blue pill. So you want to, if you take the red bus, will it take you to the same place? Will you take the blue bus? Will it also take you to the same place?
No. We have to go blue bus.
Okay, so you are saying ultimately you have to be in the blue bus. Okay, so the blue bus takes you to somewhere which red bus doesn't take.
Yes.
Then let me ask the question the other way. Does the blue bus take you to the place that red bus takes you?
Yes, it takes.
It takes. But it also takes you to some other place which the red bus cannot take.
Correct.
Wow, very nice.
No, so you are asking questions which help me to answer. That's all. But definitely, because we have to reach some place, then we use a different means. That way I felt. But otherwise, also single taxi we can reach airport. Otherwise, auto, bus, like bus, 2-3 means of transportation also takes us to that place. But
or we can cancel traveling. Very nice. Very nice, Shailajaji. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Sir, one more
Is it
thing about
like that
bus now.
the regular bus versus express bus? express transport or the luxury.
Luxury. Yeah.
Yeah.
Padmaji, what were you saying?
No, I was saying there is also another thing that the blue bus is already there. It doesn't go anywhere.
It's a strange bus.
It doesn't move.
You're stuck in the blue bus. Okay, very
Yeah.
nice. The bus that takes you nowhere. Wonderful. Thank you, Shailaja ji. Rupa ji.
Yes, Vijay. Sir, I have not gone through the videos.
Okay. But according to you, is there a difference between yoga and jnana? Or based on whatever viewpoints you're hearing, are you able to have your own viewpoint? So far, whatever you've heard, based on that?
Sir, yoga is union and jnana is knowledge. So when we can use this Vedanta knowledge to for the union.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Ashtanga Yoga is.
No, it's our usual. So if you see the question number 3, the 8 limbs of the Ashtanga Yoga have been given. That is the yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So for example, various asanas that we practice are part of the Ashtanga Yoga. Pranayama. So the ultimate step, so it's Ashtanga Yoga says, there are 8 steps and you have to go step by step. I mean, it doesn't necessarily say step by step, but you have to imbibe all these 8 steps. And the ultimate of those is the samadhi, is what Ashtanga Yoga promises. And that's the most popular form of spiritual practice that most people take up. But generally, they initially begin with, asanas are good for my health. So it begins with, I have a wheezing problem. Somebody said, okay, why don't you practice some simple Brahmari and it will go away. So they start with that. Again, I'm not demeaning that. I'm not putting it down. What is the starting point for Vedanta also could be, somebody said, I went to that Prabhuji and suddenly I feel very light. I feel crazy. Okay, so let me also see whether the same craziness comes into me. So like that, it can, somewhere it begins, no? But basically I want to get rid of my craziness.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, go ahead, please.
People who spoke before me, they said that Vedanta Jnana is direct path. So seeing all these limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, I feel yes, that is the direct path, sir.
Which is the direct path?
Vedanta Jnana.
Okay, how it is so?
Because there we get the knowledge and the only thing we need to do is realize that truth. Here there are so many things to be, there are so many steps.
Here also there are so many, Bhagavad Gita has 700 shlokas. Upanishads, they say 114, or at least some 14 major ones. And Aparoksha Anubbhti itself, we've been chewing on it for the last almost 1.5 years. So many steps.
I think Vedanta Jnana is much involved in mental action, and this is physical.
Very nice. Nice way of putting mental action versus physical action. Okay. But as you go further, see, for example, as an example, number 5, okay, withdrawal of senses. Where are you withdrawing to? Or, 4th, breath control. Breath is, if you assume it is a physical phenomena, but you're controlling from somewhere. From where are you controlling? You're applying your mind only, no?
Yes, sir.
So how is that then, not a mental action also? Even when, for example, as simple as, okay, do Surya Namaskara. Make sure that, you're standing with your feet parallel and your back erect. That is also first and foremost, you have to correctly understand what is that. Then only you can instruct your body to follow that. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So isn't mental action very integral part of even Ashtanga Yoga?
But what I said was, in Ashtanga Yoga, much physical action is involved compared to Vedanta or Jnana Yoga.
So there's nothing that is externally visible as such in Vedanta Jnana.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless some a crazy person like me keeps prodding, asking silly questions, and then you give up and say, you silly fellow. Then you can see very clearly the action outcome.
Yeah, you are being the Purva Pakshi always in each and every person.
Purva Pakshi or Poor Pakshi, I don't know, but as long as you don't come and find and hit me, I'm okay. All right, so very nice. Anything more you would like to add, Rupaji?
No, sir.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Yes.
Shubhaji, what is your viewpoint?
Yes, sir. Prabhuji has put it very nicely that yoga is the school and jnana is the college. So yoga is the stepping stone to jnana. When that's what I see personally in my life too. Because when we look at the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, which involves Ahimsa, Satya, and Asteya, Brahmacharya, all these things, only when we put that into practice, like Ahimsa, Satya, all those things, when we put it into practice, even Saucha, Santosha, only when those things are put in practice can we get into the next step of Vedanta Jnana. I would say Ashtanga Yoga is the stepping stone to Vedanta Jnana. If I say yoga I am looking at enlightenment through yoga, then that would be I will get blissful state in the when I'm in deep sleep. But we all know that deep sleep state is not the state where we get the jnana. We have to go beyond all these 3 states. So when I look at the jnana point of view, Ashtanga Yoga is thoughtless state, but Vedanta Jnana is where you are differentiating between the bad thoughts and the good thoughts and realizing that I am, as we discussed in the first part of the session, I am just being a sakshi, that I am not that, is what is the jnana which we have to, we ultimately have to realize. So for the question of what is the difference between Ashtanga Yoga and Vedanta Jnana, I would say yoga leads to jnana. So It is a stepping stone, and only when we realize what is all the steps under the Ashtanga Yoga can we go to the next step of Jnana. So clarity is required
your
here.
Your statement is before you can come to the blue bus, you have to be in the red bus.
You automatically get get the things that are there in the red bus. When you have the Jnana, see, I am not a big practitioner of Ashtanga Yoga. Now, of course, I do Shavasana.
Excellent.
Everybody does that, Shubha, not only you.
No, people, no, I always feel guilty. All other people do lot of asanas, but the only asana I do very nicely is Shavasana.
Baji, that is wrong. I'll tell you why. You're a female, so you cannot be doing Shavasana. You'll be doing Shivasana.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I see, sir. Most of the Ashtanga Yoga part of it, where it is physical asana. I wouldn't say Ashtanga Yoga is only physical. Since when we look at the 8 steps, it involves a lot of other things which we do without even realizing that we are doing all that. See,
So I misunderstood your statement. So, okay, so I thought you were saying that before you can come to Jnana, you have to be in yoga.
No,
So,
no.
Okay, okay. So, okay,
It's parallel. Yeah, it comes when you have the Jnana, lot of Ashtanga Yoga things like that 8 limbs, which is referred here, automatically comes. See, truthfulness. When you have the Vedanta Jnana, truthfulness is always there. And non-violence, yes, it is there. So it is complementary to each other.
But
Also,
you're being violent,
Shubha,
but you're being violent to yoga practitioners by saying that by being in the
No. I am not saying they are wrong. They are great. They are doing both. It's just that maybe I'm rather escapist attitude that since I am not doing all those physical yogas, it's okay that without doing that yoga, I can get into Vedanta.
Okay, so blue bus is for lazy people, you're saying.
people who want to do Shavasana and Shivasana.
Yes.
Shubha, one point you said thoughtlessness is something that is part of Ashtanga Yoga. So can you elaborate on that? Like, why did you say that?
Because in yoga, nirvikalpa means making mind thoughtless, right? But in Jnana, Vedanta, nirvikalpa means infinite, right? That's how I am connecting.
No, nirvikalpa, I mean, as far as my understanding is, the meaning is same, right? Whether it is Vedanta or this one. But here, it is not written as what kind of samadhi, right? So it can also be savikalpa samadhi. There is no way of knowing it, right?
That is true, yeah.
Ah.
But most of when you look at yoga classes, they will say be in a thoughtless state. That's how it goes. But in Vedanta, there is nothing like thoughtless. It is just the differentiation of good thoughts and bad thoughts, and realizing that the Jnana, that I am pure consciousness, I am Brahman. That is the knowledge I have to get. So that is the difference. I have to discriminate the right thought.
Very nice.
Sir, but I also agree in what she says that many of these the limbs of the Ashtanga Yoga, if you go through it individually, I think many of the things we already have in us. As part of our conditioning also, some of it could be just our conditioning. Like I remember, at least in my house, my mother will hit us if there is some lice coming out of your mouth. I have got it once. So that is embedded from childhood.
Sorry for a poor joke. I thought lice always only come out of the hair.
Well, to comment on that, in both cases, you get hit.
Correct.
Because I had very long hair. So if I come with that also, my mom will be like, who are you sitting next to?
Anyway, being hit is the ultimate result.
Yeah, that is there. That's a given.
Hmm.
So I think certain things is coming as part of your conditioning also. And then if you examine it, you have certain things. Like, for example, this aparigraha, right? I think that has, at least for me, I have evolved into that now.
Yes, yes.
So I have a special love for sari, but now when I look at it, I feel, okay, are you going to wear it? All
Shall I
these
come
things are
today
coming.
to collect all your sarees?
It's all, there is one questioning now. Do you really need this? Are you going to wear it? How many times you
I
are
will
going to
take, I
wear
will
it?
take.
All this is coming.
Gold also you can give me.
Yeah, I was thinking, why it should be put to good use, sir. So maybe we should give all to lots only. So, Guruji will
No,
know.
conditional.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Thank you very much, Shivaji. Excellent. Sarananji.
Yeah, Vijay. So to me, is it okay? To me, all paths lead to the same destination. And then why multiple? The way I see it is, it's the the different depending on how depending on the background, the environmental conditions where one is growing up, right? So one type of uh, person may find it more conducive to go through yogic path. Another one may be more inclined towards jnana path. It's like how the same power expresses in one individual in terms of a physical sport, being a great player, or for another through intellect as a scientist. Right? At the end of the day, it's the same power. It depends on the nature of the vehicle. In this case, the nature of this body. Right? A more athletic body may be inclined more towards it. So the idea is whatever is whatever is the makeup, finally, like everyone has their own way, but finally it takes to the same destination, which is what I want to be happy and healthy, right? So the one guy says like I want to do some things to reach that state, right? And the other one says, you know what, let me understand how this whole thing works. And if I understand it, I can follow it. I don't need to really um, uh, go through the whole thing to figure out. So it that's how I see that, like uh, what is conducive to one to the form, to the individual, right? And yeah, samadhi here, union, the in the Vedanta also we are saying the same, union of jivatma with paramatma, right? So here also it's becoming one, or the one becomes none also later on, right? So and as we've been hearing, through Jnana also keeps talking about the same thing of chitta shuddhi. How do you reach there? What to avoid? Why to avoid? It goes more into the science behind all these things. While in the yoga, it takes you through like doing aspect to take you there in the same way. And we have seen all like in from our Puranas and history, we have seen uh, there are yogis and jnanis who have followed different path, having reached the highest goal, right? Like one example that came to me is like Kannapanayana, who was a hunter, and like who reached who was eating the hunted meat, and he was offering that to God, and like which should have been a big no to a bhakti yoga person. But then like the point is like he had that clear vision idea, and which is what took him there, right? So all these steps finally help you to remove all the wrong knowledge, to take you finally to know who you are, at the end, the union. And so it takes you to be to get that infinite bliss state, right? So whoever starts, right, they will all start with some goal, and even if not goal, like there may be some inclination, but the inclination itself takes towards the goal, highest goal of that path. So yeah, different paths leading to the same destination is my answer.
Is your viewpoint. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
There's one beautiful little story you all may know. So somebody's car broke, and he called a mechanic, a little old mechanic, and he came with his tool kit, and he asked about the problem. And then he took a small wrench, and he kind of looked around and tapped in 2-3 places, and then he tapped a little more in the 4th place, and he said, okay, now start the car. And the car started. Wow, the owner was very happy. I will send you my bill. Okay, when the bill came, it was $5,000. Okay, in Indian rupees. So 5,000 into 80. Good at the math, all of you. Please do the math. Okay, so that much bill came. The owner was aghast. A silly fellow, you only tapped. And why are you charging me so much? And that old fellow said, knowing where to tap is what has brought me here. So you should know where to tap. If you could tap it, you would have done it. So that in a way is the difference. Okay. So in one sense, when you look at any phenomena, there's a cause and an effect. So there is a result and a cause of the result. So now, for example, the result is I am depressed, I'm sad, I am angry, I'm upset. So you can begin at the effect level. Okay, I have a habit of lying. Don't lie, don't lie. If you lie, lies will come out. Or if you lie, I'm going to beat you up. So something like that, some kind of a control mechanism so that mind can be trained. So some kind of a policing mechanism. Okay, so it works, nothing wrong. Somebody, I think Sadhguru, was giving the statistics. In New York, for every 100%, apparently there is one policeman. Okay, that's the statistics. For almost like for every 100%. My statistics could be wrong, so please don't quote me and then say, this is what Vijay sir said. This is what I remember. However, in India, for almost like for every 10,000 person, hardly one police. And also US police, they're well fed, okay, and also well equipped. There is a gun, there is all kinds of gadgets. Indian police, no power. He comes with a betta. That's all, the maximum he has. The number of people also, India has almost 5 times the population of America. For that amount of population, the number of crimes, again, I'm not saying that crime is okay. I'm saying for the number of people, the number of crimes is far lesser as a per capita number of crimes, if you look at it. For every 100 people, this is a statistical way of convincing yourself about, life. Okay. So for every 100 people in America, there is at least one rape, one murder happening. For every 10,000 people or for every 1 lakh people, only one murder and one rape is happening in India. So it's okay. So it's a way of saying India is great. Okay. So that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you look at the per capita crime rate, is far lesser. So in a way, you can conclude that policing may not necessarily always lead to the best result. It seems to, but it may not lead to a long-lasting result. Maybe we can say like that. Something that is a far more permanent. See, somebody may not be stealing just because I'll get beaten up. Okay. So somebody may not be lying just because they don't want to be insulted. But like how Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, they may not be doing it externally, but that seed for doing that, which is, in the mind, the thought process may still be there. So as a seed, it may still be there. The moment the right conditions come, it will germinate again. When the moment you see that, nobody is watching me, you may do whatever nonsense you are doing, right? So the question is, are you doing because somebody is policing, or are you doing because that is how it is, right? So in that way, you can work at the effect level to try to modify the cause, or simply realize the cause and cut at the cause level. This is the difference, right? So for that, like Ashtanga Yoga, there are 8 questions that have come up. Okay. Now that I'm talking here, I feel strange that it had to be 8 questions. I don't know why, but 8 questions have come up, and I would like to take all of you through those 8 questions. And it's a game. There are no wrong answers in a game. There are no wrong moves in a game.
I like that. Non-judgmental game.
Is there a prize?
Of course, there is a prize. When you come to the nowhere place, I will give you that prize. Okay, so between the pot and the mud, which is dependent and which is independent? Okay, so all of your Vedantins, so for you, I don't have to explain much. So, of course, it comes with 4 choices. Life is full of choices. And remember, there is no wrong choice. So
apparent choices.
So which one would you choose? A, B, C, D. Pot is independent, mud is independent, both are independent, neither is independent. So this is the first question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, how do we play this game? So
Buzzer. Whoever presses the buzzer first.
no, okay, I will ask one person. Okay, and that person will give one answer. If anybody else has an alternate answer, then we will call out that person. Okay. So
we can put the answer in the chat. All of us.
No, but then I will have to see that. See that. Faster will be discussion. Okay, so Rupaji, what is your answer for this question? Rupaji, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I actually did not understand the question. Why is it asked like this?
Okay, so the question is between pot and mud. So you see various pots here, right? Various kinds of pots. And between pot and mud, which is dependent on which? Is the pot dependent on the mud, or is the mud dependent on the pot?
Pot is dependent on the mud. Mud is not dependent on pot.
So out of the 4 choices, which choice will you pick?
Mud is independent.
Choice B.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Rupaji. Let's all give her a big hand. And now, who has an alternate viewpoint? Who disagrees with Rupaji? My God, Rupaji, this is like the best voting that Modi could have had. 100% vote. Okay, all right. So now then, let's go to the next question. Same question now. Ornament versus gold. Which is independent, which is dependent? Deepaji?
Gold is independent.
Okay. Are there anybody who thinks otherwise? Okay, nobody.
Also,
Deepaji.
the question is subjective, limited choices. We can go further, and then like the answer can change also.
We'll play another game for that. But this game was only 4 choices. Okay, so now ocean versus water. Shailaja ji. Shailaja ji, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Both are, neither is independent.
You're saying neither is independent. Okay,
Yes.
can you explain your answer? How you're saying neither is independent?
Without water, ocean is not possible. But
Yes. Yeah, that is correct. But
yeah, water. Yeah, I think water is independent.
okay, so you're changing your answer. Okay, it's okay. In our game, it is allowed. Okay, so you're saying A. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody here who disagrees with Shailaja ji? Padma ji is saying, no, not at all. Okay, all right. So now it gets a little harder as we go from here. So now, which is dependent on which? Between things and space. Okay, so Shubhaji.
Space is independent.
Anybody thinks otherwise? And look at the beauty of today's session. We are 8 people.
Tongue, 8 limbs are here.
Okay, so I would have liked you to listen to this intently. Okay. So between the sound and the silence, which is dependent on which? Padmaji.
Silence is independent, sir.
What is this? You're asking me a nursery question, Padmaji.
No, so many Modis I was wondering today.
Correct, no? So far, everybody has 100%. Okay, is anyone disagreeing with Padmaji? Please disagree for the sake of it.
Sir, you only disagree, no?
Quizmasters are not supposed to
That's
have opinion.
just for the sake of questioning, okay? But there is also a thing that without silence, you will not know the sound, and without sound, you will not know the silence, right?
Wow. See, I told you, Jeji.
It's a question. I am not.
No, you got it. You nailed it. You nailed it.
That's why you have the name Panchmata. Yeah, can you explain yourself?
He said there is no Shakti without Shiva. There is no Shiva
Yes,
without...
exactly.
Excellent question. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and explain yourself, please.
Sir, for a person who can't hear, it's always silence, right?
Hmm.
So without silence, you will not know the value of sound, and without sound, there is no silence. So how is it?
Which is
Isn't it
correct.
interdependent?
Which is correct in terms of knowing, in terms of discriminating, it is correct.
Yeah.
But in terms of which is dependent on which cannot function without something else. Between these two,
Yeah,
which,
between these two, silence, yes.
that is the intent of the question.
Yeah, okay.
Or to put it in another way, it is like what is always there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is always there is silence. Okay, yeah, got it. Yeah, for the sake of questioning, I question.
No, it's a wonderful
Nailed
question.
it. You nailed it, Shivaji.
You are now learning to be a poor, not poor Pakshi, Purva Pakshi. I am the poor Pakshi. And look at it, when the bird came, you also came alive. Good. Good.
Yeah.
This is the job of a Purva Pakshi. Simply make some nonsense question so that something sensible comes out of it. Good. Wonderful. So nobody is disagreeing with Shubhaji then. Congratulations, Modi ji, Shubhaji. Okay. Slightly more difficult things. Okay, next 3R. Body versus mind. Which is dependent and which is independent. So, eeny, meeny, mo. The only person who has not yet answered yet is Saravanan-ji, no? Saravanan-ji.
This is the toughest to me. So mind is independent.
Okay.
Neither is independent.
Neither is independent.
Megha ji say, very good. Nice. For the first time, you have two camps.
Thank you, Deepaji. That's why.
Otherwise, the news channel will be boring if there is no opposite viewpoints. Okay, very good. So, Megha ji, why don't you explain yourself first? Sorry, Deepa ji. You have to change your name, please.
Oh, yes, sir.
What's
The
in a
body-
name, sir?
Oh, correct.
Mind is dependent on the body, and the body is dependent on the mind.
Okay, can you explain how it is so?
When the body is ill, the mind also will be kind of ill itself, because it will be anxious to get cured, that the body should get cured. And then when the mind is worried, even that affects the body. The body will
They're
not
affecting
be,
each other, it is clear. But
yeah, they're
which can
dependent
exist
on,
without which? Which can exist without which? That is the nature of the question, right? You are saying neither of them can exist without each other.
yes, sir.
Okay, very nice. Saravananji, now it is your turn to justify your answer.
So you're saying neither of which can be without each other.
She's saying
Yes.
neither is independent.
Okay. So
Body, mind needs body.
Yeah, so Deepaji, so then what happens when you are asleep?
There you go, the classical Vedanta viewpoint. These Vedantins have some logic. Nonsense.
Uh,
So in the waking state, you have both body and mind. Let's say it's active, both.
Hmm.
In the sleep, when you're sleeping, what happens? In the dream state, you're dreaming. Who is there? Who is not there?
Where is the body?
Ah,
Even while you sleep, where is the body?
And that
okay.
proves
Are
the
you
point
aware?
that Saranji is making, no?
What, sir?
You only proved Saranji's point then. There is no body in the dream, but still everything is being experienced.
Oh, yes.
Hey, this is called self-goal, Deepaji. You should have played.
There's no body, there's no mind.
So now I want you to go back to your reason.
I actually just thought of the waking state, didn't think beyond that. So I proved to be wrong. I'm wrong.
No, so what happens when the body, you said the body is not well. Let's just go into that.
When the body
That
is not,
if your explanation you feel is wrong, then what happens to the understanding of the illness?
this point that I said is only true during the waking state. But when
Which
I
is?
am in deep sleep,
Mm.
there's neither body nor mind.
No, but
how is it true in the waking state?
yeah,
In the
that's the
waking
question.
state. So I think you can think about whether the body is in the mind or the mind is in the body. What do you think? In all the states, irrespective of the states.
Mm. Body is in the mind. I think the body is in the mind, irrespective of the states.
Okay.
Only the
But
physical appearance is such that the mind looks that it looks to us that the mind is there in the body.
How?
Hmm.
How do you say that mind is there in the body, even physical state?
In the mind, we have the brain, and brain, as per the science, we think that the brain thinks, so the mind should be in the body. Otherwise, truly speaking, the mind, the body is in the mind.
so you kind of equate that mind is equal to brain, something like that. That's why one thinks like that, right?
Actually,
that the mind is in the body, right? That's your understanding.
No. I want to say that actually the body is in the mind, but we confuse ourselves because physically when we think of the body, we think the brain is in the body, and therefore the mind should be in the brain.
Yeah, that's
Other,
what. So you think that brain and mind is same, right? There is one thing that they
yes,
feel
yes.
that, so they think that it has to be in the brain or inside
body.
the head.
Yeah.
Okay, so you also moved to the B camp. Okay. Is there anyone else in against the B camp?
Vijayji,
Yes.
this is like both of them are not independent. No.
Between these two.
But neither is independent is one option.
Between these two.
Between these two, yeah. See, if we think about body, the body can exist without the mind.
How do you say
Obviously, suppose a person is in coma, there is no mind, or in deep sleep, there is no mind. Okay, so when we are thinking of mind, it may be, are we talking about the thoughts? Are we talking about the brain? If it is brain, yes, brain is in the body. If we are talking about mind as a set of thoughts, that those thoughts, we know there are thoughts only when there is a consciousness. So body and mind both are not independent.
We'll not talk about what is not in the game. This game is strictly you have to compare these two things.
So body as a physical body, without the mind, the body can exist.
Without the mind, the body can exist. So I'm asking you, how do you
as a
see
physical
so?
body, as a physical body, without, suppose a person is in coma, okay, or he is in deep sleep. That is a no mind state. But
No,
the
how
body
do you say
exists.
it's a no mind state? When you say no mind, see, for example, when somebody is in coma also, many people, later
No
they
mind is just no consciousness. The person is unconscious, no consciousness, but physically there is a body.
but the no consciousness is the state that you as a doctor are observing.
Someone is
For you,
observing. I understand that. Someone is
that
observing.
person, but for that person,
there is
their
no
mind is
body.
still fully functional.
Yeah.
Their mind is
only when there is
fully functioning.
Only when there is a mind, there is a body. Because the body is in the mind. So the mind is the body is in the mind because the mind is perceiving a body. Otherwise, we will not even know there is a body. So everything is a projection by the mind.
So therefore, the point that
the mind we can say is independent, but mind as a set of thoughts, how can a set of thoughts exist without a body?
No. See, for example, in your dream, your physical body is not there, but still, there are so many other projections coming.
The projection is also of the body only.
That is
of
okay.
different bodies.
The moment you have a form, that form you're calling by the name called body. Okay. So this is the body of a mobile. This is the body of a water bottle.
So what is a mind? What is a mind, Vijayji?
Mind
when
is...
you are able to show a body, how are you able to show a mind?
No, you cannot show. So mind is that's why it is a one way of speaking is mind is also body, but this body is a gross or a sthula sharira, and this is a sukshma sharira. So that's why in the panchakosha prakriya, everything is a kosha. Okay, manomaya kosha. Right? That's also a kosha. It's a manner of speaking. Okay. What is mind? Mind is nobody has seen a mind. But mind is there because I think, I see.
I think.
Right? So that place where you're thinking, that thing through which you're thinking, you and I, for the sake of understanding, have called it as mind. Antakarana is a more technically appropriate term. Antakarana, inner instrument. And this one is Bahyakarana. Both are Karana only. But here the question is, which Karana is dependent on which? This Karana is perceivable by the five senses, right? Antakarana is not perceivable by the five senses.
So where is Antakarana then?
That is a separate question. We are not debating that question right now.
When we are talking about dependency and independency.
But you know about the existence of it because of your experience. That is why you say, I am there. I am thinking. That is how you are expressing in Kannada, in Telugu. So all that capability, all that faculty is what you are grouping together and saying, I have a mind. Correct, no? So therefore,
what is the answer, Vijayji? I am totally, I don't know how to express this or, what is the right answer then?
So the question is very simple. The question is, see, you have that thinking place or that thinking thing which you are calling as a mind. It cannot be physically conceptualized. What is mind? Nobody can physically draw. See, brain is a physical organ of thinking, enables thinking. But if you really think about it, even your hand thinks, even your feet thinks. So the mind is in all parts of your body. The moment you're walking, and if a sharp object pricks, your feet immediately moves. And the scientists or the biologists give it is called as parasympathetic nervous system, yada yada. They give 100 examples and 100 explanation. But the simplest way of looking at life is, your feet also is able to know what it should do and what it should not do. For example, driving, it has become a kind of a very mechanical activity after a certain training.
Yeah.
So, which means what?
Subconscious.
Right? Which means what? Your eyes, your hands, they're still coordinating. You're still talking. Maybe you're even fighting with somebody sitting next to you, but still you're able to drive.
Yeah.
Something has become so ingrained. So that place which is controlling, these so-called physical activities is what you're calling as your mind, is it not?
Yeah.
Where it is, that's a separate question. Okay. But right now, we are only contrasting. We are only asking the question, which is dependent on which? That's all the question that we are asking.
I will just want to add one thing, Nitin. Can the body operate independently of the mind? Independently. Right, that was one guiding point to the answer to me.
Yeah.
Not
The body-
being present, not just being present. Can it be fully functional? Your
The
goal
level
is
of-
fully functional.
It is
the level
not
of
ornament.
even
whatever.
only when a body is fully functional, you call it a body. Even when it is not fully functional, also you call it a body, right?
Yeah, so that's a subtle point I use, because when it is there which cannot operate, which cannot fulfill its full definition, then to me it is there but not there. Silence
Body
is
is
fully
a physical
is
thing. Body is a physical thing. Mind is a subtle thing. If we are talking about body versus brain, it is physical versus physical. But body is physical, mind is subtle. So yes, in the mind you project the body. The body is in the mind, definitely. But the body is in the mind. But if the mind is not working, will the body be there? Yes, the body will be there. I mean, I am talking only, if we are not talking about spiritually, I am talking only about the gross level.
But you are talking about there for a limited duration, after which it goes away.
Yeah, that is
It
anyway.
cannot be there
Even
forever.
in a very gross sense, Satyaji,
It cannot be there forever.
in your dream state, you are not physically experiencing this body. You're experiencing some other body. And the place where
Dream
you're
body.
experiencing is, there's a dream body. But the place where you're experiencing is, you call it as your mind. Oh, I was dreaming. Where were you dreaming? You would say,
Yeah,
I was dreaming
I
in my
totally
mind.
understand that body is in the mind. That I agree.
Correct, no? So therefore, the mind is able to function without this
Body.
physical organ. That is the only question that is being raised here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
so are you okay to be in the B camp?
Yeah, the mind looks independent.
Yeah, if you are asking like to prove show operational mind without body, right? So the only thing I can remember is that the video which we saw sometime back, where the person went into coma and then like came back and explained how the experience was, where like the mind was fully active and was able to see what was going on in the hospital room, outside the hospital room, in her home country, and a lot more of it, right? So that aligns with what Vedanta is talking about as well. So that I don't know if you were there that episode.
No. I didn't know that. That is a nice example. Like even when the person is in coma, the mind is still active. The only thing is we don't know. Again, it is not known to the other mind.
Yeah. But
Again,
this
not to the
person
body.
came back and explained and narrated everything in detail, and it was like very interesting to hear like what was the experience. Yeah.
And in fact, that is why, Satyaji, even with the coma patients, many doctors or many people who have realized this truth, they say speak as if you're speaking And be
Yes,
very
yes.
kind
Because
and
it will go into the mind.
into the mind. Correct. They are hearing everything. And see, the one who's operating that body, the moment they feel that, okay, nobody is caring for it, it says, okay, what is the point of me being there? So in that way, that happens because, nobody needs me. See, what really keeps you and me alive to this life is that I have something to contribute in this life. If nobody has anything to seek from me, what is the use of me? So in that sense, that when that feeling deepens, there is no more a sense of a purpose. So there are wonderful life stories, Satyaji. Guruji always says her mother was in death. His mother was in deathbed, and the doctor said, only another 24 hours. And he said, okay, so all right, no problem. So all of you please go away. Let me sit with her. And he simply overnight he kept talking to her about how the grandchildren what they need to do, how they are planning the next Upanayanam and the marriage, and what should we do. So simply keep on talking about the next things. Lo and behold, she lived on for another 10 years. Again, all these belief systems are ingrained in the physical way of looking at the world. The body is dysfunctional. What is the doctor's definition of death? Doctor's definition of death is the physical activities have stopped. So
Correct.
the understanding is coming from a very physical viewpoint, no? Does that make sense, Satyaji?
Yeah, it does. But somewhere this question is sometimes it is looking like a physical question, like a gross level thing. And sometimes when we look at the spiritual angle, again, the whole thing is different. And when we are looking at gross and subtle, again, it is different. So
see, this gross and subtle is actually another distinction that you are making up in your mind. See, at the end of the day, in the dream, you saw a building, you saw a mountain. It was as real as, when you experience it during your waking hours. What was there? What is the basis of all that?
But here I have a question, Vijay. A mind without a body. Okay, the mind is capable of projection. That is true. But a mind without the body is can it exist? I mean, does it exist like that?
You're proving to yourself. Independently. You're proving to yourself that it exists. No, in the dream it exists. Again,
the mind is projecting, but the mind is the mind is again, spiritually, if I say yes, this body is space, the place inside and the place outside is space, but it is so do you can we say that there are minds without bodies?
See, again, that is a distinction that you are bringing, Allah, Satyaji. For example, the place I am sitting right now, you say it is Hyderabad. And the place that Saravanji is sitting, you call it as Bangalore. Now, that is one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is, look, the space that you are in.
That is what. That space part I can understand in that way. I can say the mind is in space.
So again, that there is a my
and
mind.
In the mind, there is a body which is projected.
It is you who is drawing the boundary that it is my mind and it is his mind. At a mind level, when you think about it, Satyaji, how are you able to think in a certain way? Because of certain ideas that have come into you. From where those ideas have come into you? Whose ideas are they? Those ideas are the ones which are creating the boundary called, for example, right now, I am in Hyderabad. I am a Teluguite. Is a boundary that has come into your thinking process. Is it really there? So that's a separate question, right? But the boundary, even the question that you're asking is one mind versus another mind. What is mind? Mind is nothing but something that is bounded by certain boundary called thought.
So
Where
here,
is
when we are speaking about mind, it is just the thought.
it?
We are
Yeah,
not speaking about any physical brain.
we are not talking about brain here.
Mm.
The brain is nothing but the instrument.
Mm.
It is a
Again, mind is also an
No,
instrument.
even nobody has been able to prove that mind resides here. They're still trying to figure out like what gives rise to this whole mind itself.
So the
Right.
current scientific thinking is totally inverted. They think that because
Yeah.
brain is there, mind comes into existence.
Mm.
They even go to the extent of saying that because of the brain, consciousness arises. So
Yeah.
what they're essentially saying is they're able to experience the process of consciousness or the functioning of the consciousness when the brain is there. So see, I experiencing something versus it not being there, or it being by itself, are two distinct questions. Without the body, the functioning of the mind cannot be felt in the so-called external world. If say somebody has beautiful music knowledge, okay, but that cannot be heard through your ears, then you don't even know it is there. So in that sense, the experience happens through, because right now you and I are experiencing through these physical five senses, the so-called world of phenomena. So experience doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, only because of the experience music exists. Music exists by itself. See, in a way, when you think of the 26 alphabets of English letter, right? In a way, can you not say that in the 26 letters, all the knowledge that you can ever think of, that you can ever discuss, is already there? Satyaji?
Yes, yes. True.
But it is not in the expressed form. It is in the latent form. It is in the potential form. So the 26 alphabets represent the potential of all the knowledge. It is not the expressed knowledge. When it comes out as a novel, it is expressed as a story. When it comes out as a mathematical equation, it comes out as math, so on and so forth. So in that sense, the 26 alphabets encompasses all the knowledge, but it is not experienced. So so therefore, what we are claiming is, look, the 26 alphabets are, the knowledge is dependent on the 26 alphabets in that example, in very particular to this example, right? So the expression of that knowledge is what you and I are saying, oh, it is there or not there. Are you able to see the distinction, Satyaji?
Yeah, Vijay. Yes.
Are you feeling convinced enough to take the next question? Because the last question is for you. Last but the one question is for you.
Okay. Yes, Vijay.
Vijay ji,
Yeah.
just wanted to add, but yeah, we can keep talking.
Yeah.
So as we, yeah, you can say that it is in theory. Even in death, it's the body that dies, right? While what? Again, that's why I said in
For
theory.
who? For
What
who?
we
For who? For the
Ah.
one who is seeing from outside. The
outside.
one who is seeing from outside is saying that, look, that person is dead. Okay. So therefore, all these are, again, you, the waking one, you are claiming that somebody is. You, the
Yeah.
waking one, are the one who is saying somebody is dead.
Yeah, but what we learn is it is only the body, but the mind is still the Sukshma
So
Sarira
see, there
still alive,
the
and
mental concept you are carrying is the person who, there is a mind that was inside that body, and that has now is somewhere there we imagine all this somewhere there, because in the pictures we have seen somewhere there. But very simple thinking is, you are the one who's claiming somebody is dead.
Yeah.
All right. So now the next question to Satyaji. So Satyaji, now that we have proven that mind is the independent, Antakarana, mind itself has 4 major parts, as you know: Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. In these 4, Buddhi, we call it as a decision maker. And we have Chitta, Ahankara, and Mana. So now the question is same. Among these 4, which is dependent on which? So now the question is the Buddhi independent of the other 3? Are the other 3 independent of the Buddhi? Or you can bring any other variation of this. But the question is essentially Antakarana, our so-called mind, has 4 functions: Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. And among them is the Buddhi, the decision maker, independent of the other? Or is the other dependent on the Buddhi, or vice versa?
This goes to
So
the
these are mana. What exactly does mana mean?
Mana is, where all the sensations are brought.
thinking
So
part.
it is like, for example, the sukshma of your seeing. So you're seeing a gross object.
Okay.
The sukshma form of that is where it appears. That is called mana. Okay, this is only to understand. It is not like, like the eyes and the nose. There are no parts like that.
Eyes are physical, and this is the gross.
The eyes is the gross, right? But there has to be a sukshma of that, right? There has to be, otherwise how are you saying that I'm seeing something, right? So somewhere that image has to still again form for your mind to see, right? And that function or that part of your mind, antakarana, is called as mana. Input, where all the inputs are coming. Okay. And chitta, is your memory, your dictionary. So Satyaji, so the question here is between among these, buddhi, the intellect, the decision maker, is the kind of like the seen as ultimate, right? Because all your movement is because of that, right?
It reminds me of Duryodhana's answer, Vijayji. I will reserve it for a while. Duryodhana said something.
Which Sharavananji is going to say.
But let's first hear what Satyaji has to say.
Yeah. So I feel buddhi is, the intellect is independent, because depending on the intellect itself, how we see things, our ego depends on our intellect. So if our intellect is sharp enough, it gives the ego may be dissolved or slowly destroyed. If our intellect is, our buddhi is not in the proper way, I think we tend to have a more self-centric, more ego, an egoistic outwardly behavior. So depending on our buddhi, buddhi is independent.
Very nice. Are there others in the opposite camp or different camp?
Is when you say buddhi
first answer that. Are you in the opposite camp?
They are dependent on each other.
Okay, so Rupaji, you're saying which one, Rupaji? C. Sorry, which one are you saying, the Rupaji?
It's not there in the answer paper. Question paper.
No. D. Are you saying C or D, Rupaji?
D.
D. Neither is independent. So each is dependent on each other.
Yes.
Okay.
We are all one family.
Okay. Okay. Satyaji, how do you then explain your answer to her?
Sir,
so whatever
one leading Go
Sorry.
ahead, go ahead,
Before
Padma.
Satyaji explains, I want to know why Rupaji thinks like that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Rupaji, why don't you please explain yourself, and then Satyaji will explain why she thinks the way she thinks.
Sir, Antakarana, which has four aspects, Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara and Chitta. In that, Mana only takes in the information. It doesn't do anything.
It is
Chitta,
what are the input that is coming? Okay, the
Yeah.
input. Yeah, correct.
And Chitta is the memory which stores everything.
Correct.
And then Buddhi discriminates
Yeah.
using the information that is stored in the Chitta.
What is the role of Aham?
Aham will take the final call of deciding. Deciding
No.
as to what
Aham is simply who I am thought.
Yeah.
Aham
Yes,
is not
Buddhi.
a decision maker. Aham is guiding Buddhi to decide. See, for
Sir,
example,
we can say Aham is the influencer.
Aham is the influencer, social influencer. Very good, correct.
Without Aham, one cannot take the decision.
So which is deciding then?
Buddhi is deciding.
Buddhi is deciding. No. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the question is, in terms of existence, which is dependent on which? Is Buddhi dependent on the other three? Are the other three independent of the Buddhi? That is a question. Again, this is a made-up question. Please don't start imagining that, there are these four parts in the mind. In terms of functioning, the Vedanta guru has decided that, okay, yeah, this is a good way to teach the truth. So therefore, these four distinctive qualities can be seen, powers can be seen. So therefore, they made these division. But unlike the eye and the nose and the ear that you can kind of physically, you think you are able to see as a different thing. There are no different things, because mind itself is a nebulous. However, by functioning, you can determine, yeah, there are these four distinct functions. Now, the question is, in terms of existence, for it to be there, which is dependent on which?
Sir, Buddhi cannot discriminate if there is no information, no, sir.
It cannot discriminate is separate. But
it is dependent on Chitta and Mana also.
No, but can it not exist without the other three?
See, we are not talking about whether it is able to function. We are just saying, can it not exist without making any decision also?
It can exist.
But can aham exist without the buddhi discrimination, buddhi giving it a recognition? Let me ask another silly question. Can a father be a father without the mother telling the child that this is your father?
Yes, sir. He can be a father, but child would not call him father. That's all.
That's the difference, no? So who made the decision for the child? See, that's why it's called Kaunteya. It's not called as Pandeya. So it's the mother. Without the mother informing the child wouldn't have known. So aham is there because buddhi is, because of whatever the information that is collected, the aham is influencing, but ultimately it is the buddhi that is giving the existence to the aham. You think you are a lady. You think you are an Indian. And that's why they perpetuate. Your thinking is coming from who you think you are. And that is registered in your mind, in your chitta. And every information that is coming, you only look at it that way. As soon as a sari comes, you say, it is only for me, ladies only. Why? Because that is how you have been conditioned to think. Why? Because you think you are a lady. Why? Because that is what you've seen. Ladies only wear sari. Confusing or clarifying?
This question takes a lot more marks.
Only two choices. Confusing or clarifying. Either confusion is there or clarification or clarity is there. They both cannot coexist.
Maybe one question. Intellect also changes, right?
Intellect
We
doesn't.
say that
Intellect's functioning changes depending upon the knowledge that is there. See, your intellect, your intelligence, or your ability to discriminate is pure. It's independent of the information. It is like electricity. Same electricity, you can make it flow through fridge, it cools. Same electricity through heater, it heats. Electricity is buddhi is like that, pure. Depending upon the instrument, meaning depending upon the information collected. See, that is why there is so much of focus on jnana. Jnanena sadrisham, because at the end of the day, right jnana. Because it is a buddhi that is discriminating. And buddhi is the one which decides. So decision is in the mind. And it's the mind that is controlling the body. And body is in turn controlling everything. So therefore, proven knowledge. Why knowledge is the most important thing?
didn't aham is due to, let's say,
Wrong understanding.
wrong understanding. So didn't
And wrong
it come
understanding is
before?
because the wrong information and the buddhi continues to make wrong decision. So this is in terms of the functioning. But who is giving the existence to aham? Who is saying at the end of the day, among these four, who is saying, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm an Indian, I'm good, I'm bad?
Aham.
No, aham is not saying that. It's the buddhi that is saying no. Aham is
Buddha is just the decision maker. It
correct.
doesn't, based on the
what
knowledge.
basis it is deciding.
Based on the knowledge.
Correct. So your aham is based on the knowledge. Your aham is based on your knowledge that I am a man. And that's why we are doing all this, so that we correct our wrong understanding. And when the wrong understanding goes, then in a way the wrong aham goes, the right aham remains. Aham is nothing wrong with aham. It is a discrimination because of the wrong understanding.
Are you saying buddhi is creating aham?
Is it not? Aham is an illusion created by your buddhi through wrong understanding. Where is that boy Saravanan? Where is that teenage Saravanan? All of those were momentary decisions made by buddhi because of a understanding that I am a body. Where is that Indian right now?
And sir, it gets strengthened further by the chitta and the mana, right?
Correct.
So
the more you see
this too empowers your aham constantly. So influencer empowering. I love today's class, sir. It's the best.
So Rupaji, are you now ready to move to Satyaji's camp?
Pardon, sir?
Are you ready to move to Satyaji's camp? Satyaji's camp is A. Decision maker is independent. Satyaji, is that still the statement you will make?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay.
See, why the confusion here, is because in fact, there are two ways of looking at this point. The only thing is, the confusion is there because for me, yes, it is the buddhi, which is the determining factor, I can say. So depending on the buddhi, that is how your aham reacts. So I'm fixed on my answer, but the confusion for everyone is arising where the function versus the existence. It is that is
correct.
where the whole confusion is.
Correct. Exactly. So astitva and its functioning, its names and forms are different. We are now here discriminating astitva, which is dependent on which for its astitva, existence. Okay, so Satyaji is still firm on A. Rupaji, now it's your call.
So, okay, finish, Rupaji.
No, I don't want to finish, Rupaji. I'm sitting here, Rupaji. I'm not going to finish you. Please don't worry. He's
No,
scared.
only when I am finished, Brahman is there, okay? Otherwise, only I am there.
Deepaji, please don't go.
Oh, I was waiting to talk to Deepaji.
Sharananji, you said Arjuna said something.
Duryodhana.
Rupaji,
Yes, sir.
what would you choose?
A only, sir.
Hey, you changed the camp, huh? So you got convinced with what? So, see, this is a silly game, Here, you simply saying A or B will not will not be accepted.
So
You
who
have
is
to
dependent on whom?
No, now
Rupaji, who is
earlier Rupaji was saying neither is independent. D. She was in the D camp. So from here she is now completely switching to the A camp, the other end.
Okay. Then I complete what I wanted to. Why I brought up Duryodhana.
Sir,
So
one
Duryodhana
minute.
says,
Could you, sorry, Saravananji. Sir, could we continue next week? It's 8:40.
"Oh
Which
my
8:40?
God!" Yeah.
Okay, all right. So
But the suspense is killing, yeah.
The
Eighth
suspense
question.
conveys
No,
me
we'll
back.
wait. Duryodhana, what Duryodhana says and what has
Okay.
Saravananji-
Duryodhana will come next week. Okay, fine.
So then it is
Okay.
good that let the suspense be there.
Oh.
So full attendance next week.
So with that suspense, we are stopping our class here. This is better than a Sherlock Holmes class. Okay, wonderful.
Padmaji, you just broke it.
No, good.
No,
Padmaji,
I am like that serial directors, okay? I will put like, okay, see you next week. Dang, dang, it stopped now.
good Padmaji. I never thought that, at the 7th stage, we can create the killer suspense. Very good. Thank you very much. Hari Om.